smiling through the cracks while slowly falling behind. People only see the surface, the version that I show, but there are places in my soul nobody will ever know. The night has always understood the things I couldn't see. The dark knows my name, it knows every scar, every ounce of pain, every secret I buried deep, every promise I couldn't keep. The dark knows my name better than anyone ever came. When the world looks away, there's a darkness. There were nights I sat alone, watching shadows cross the wall, trying to make sense of everything and finding nothing at all. The silence became a friend, the darkness became a guide, because sometimes the only place you can hide is deep inside. The stars have heard my prayers more than any living soul. The dark knows my name, it knows every scar, every ounce of pain, every secret I buried deep, every promise I couldn't keep. The dark knows my name better than anyone ever came. When the world looks away, the dark remains. Maybe one day the morning light will find me. Maybe one day I won't need the night to understand me. But until then, the dark knows my name, and somehow that keeps me sane. Through every storm I face, through every mistake I've made, the dark knows my name. And though I hope for brighter days, when the world fades away, the dark remains. The dark remains. The dark knows my name. The dark knows my name. The rain keeps falling on this old town. Another Friday, nobody around. The streetlights glow against the dark, like faded memories inside my heart. I still remember the way you smiled, how you made the hard days feel worthwhile. Now every corner, every place still carries traces of your face. I try to move on, I try to let go, but some echoes never leave your soul. Still your voice in the rain, calling my name again and again. Every drop brings me back to you, to the nights we thought we'd make it through. I still hear your voice in the rain, even though nothing stays the same. Some memories refuse to fade away, and yours are the ones that remain. The seasons change, but I stayed here, holding on to what disappeared. Everybody says time moves on, but some goodbyes feel far too long. There's an empty seat beside me now, and I still don't know exactly how. Someone who meant everything can become just a memory. I've learned to live with the pain, but I still stop when I hear your name. I still hear your voice in the rain, calling my name again and again. Every drop brings me back to you, to the nights we thought we'd make it through. I still hear your voice in the rain, even though nothing stays the same. Some memories refuse to fade away, and yours are the ones that remain. Maybe you're happy somewhere tonight. Maybe you finally found your light. Well, I'm still chasing yesterday, trying to find the words I couldn't say. I still hear your voice in the rain, soft as a ghost, gentle as pain. Every storm brings you back to me, like a song carried by the sea. I still hear your voice in the rain, and maybe I always will. Some people leave this world behind, but never leave your mind. I still hear your voice in the rain. I still hear your voice in the rain. To run through empty streets with reckless hearts and tired sneakers, talking about the lives we live and all the places we discovered. The future felt so far away, like something waiting down the road, and every dream seemed close enough if we just wanted it enough. We didn't know how fast time moved, we thought we'd stay that way forever. We were just kids, chasing sunsets through the summer air. We were just kids, believing life would always meet us there. We were just kids, with the whole world in our hands, and even though those days are gone, I still remember who we were. The years arrived without permission, scattered us in different ways. Some stay close, some disappeared. Some became names we rarely say. The roads we chose were never easy, become the ones you miss the most. We were just kids, chasing sunsets through the summer air. We were just kids, believing life would always meet us there. We were just kids, with the whole world in our hands, and even though those days are gone, I still remember who we were. Maybe growing older isn't losing who we were. Maybe it's carrying those memories forward into every version of ourselves. We were just kids, dreaming underneath the stars. We were just kids before the world taught us how hard it was. We were just kids, and maybe that's why it still hurts, because some parts of our hearts never really leave those years. We were just kids, just kids. People would stay when life got rough. So I spent years holding everyone up, while quietly running out of luck. I answered every late night call, called people when they thought they'd fall. But when my world came crashing down, there was nobody around. Funny how silence grows when you're the one who needs someone. Nobody stayed in the end, not a lover, not a friend. When the lights went out on me, they disappeared so easily. Nobody stayed in the end, that's a truth I can't defend. I gave my heart away for free. Now it's just these empty streets and the years went by like passing trains, carrying faces and different names. Some promise they never leave, some were gone before I could breathe. Maybe I expected too much, maybe I cared a little too much, or maybe life is just that way. People come and people fade. I learned some lessons far too late. When you're the one is meant to stay. Nobody stayed in the end, not a lover, not a friend. When the lights went out on me, they did. empty streets and me. Still I hope there's someone out there who won't vanish with the years. Someone who sees all these scars and doesn't run from what they are. Maybe one day I'll find a place where I don't feel so easy to replace. Nobody stayed in the end, but I'm still standing here again. Even with the weight I carry, even with these memories. Nobody stayed in the end, but maybe that's not where it ends. Maybe tomorrow brings a light to guide me through another night. Nobody stayed, nobody stayed, but I'm still here, still here.
I found your old letter tonight, hidden between forgotten pages. The paper faded with the years, but somehow your words remain.
The ink has started disappearing. The edge is worn by passing time.
Yet every sentence brought me back to another life that once was mine. Funny how a single page can open every door again. I found your old letter, and suddenly the years were gone. Every line felt like a heartbeat, every word felt like a song. I found your old letter, and for a moment you were here, like the distance never happened, like you never disappeared. You wrote about forever, like forever couldn't end. You wrote about the places we promised we would see. We were younger than the moonlight and braver than the stars, believing nothing in this world could pull our lives apart.
The paper may be fading, but not the way it feels.
I found your old letter, and suddenly the years were gone. Every line felt like a heartbeat, every word felt like a song. I found your old letter, and for a moment you were here, like the distance never happened, like you never disappeared. Still here, still here. Maybe that's what memories do. They wait quietly in the dark until one ordinary night brings them back to life. I found your old letter, and though the years moved on, a part of me still smiles tonight, reading where we came from. I found your old letter, and maybe that's enough, because some stories never leave the people who once loved.
Scars beneath our skin, yet somehow in the middle of it all, we found a place to begin. When the lights went out, you stayed together in the dark. When everything fell apart, when hope was hard to find, you were standing by my side, together in the dark. Two broken hearts trying to survive. One more night.
The years have left their marks upon us, lines we never meant to wear. But every storm we walk through only proved that you were there. There were nights we almost gave up, moments we could barely breathe. But every time the shadows grew, you reminded me to believe. When the world turned cold, you stayed.
Together in the dark, when everything fell apart, when hope was hard to find, you were standing by my side, together in the dark. Two broken hearts trying to survive.
One more
Maybe that's what love becomes.
not fireworks,
Not perfect endings,
just someone who remains.
just someone who remains. Together in the dark.
Through every
walked through shadows for so long, I almost forgot the morning sun. I've carried memories like stones across roads I thought would never end.
Every scar became a lesson, every loss became a guide. Even in my darkest moments, something kept me alive.
I watched the seasons come and go, I watched the years pass by. I've cried for things I couldn't keep and learned some goodbyes never die. But every chapter left a trace, every heartbreak had a reason, and somehow every winding road led me here this evening.
Maybe nothing was ever wasted, maybe every step belonged.
When the night finally ends and the first light reaches in, I look back at where I've been and thank the darkness for the lessons. When the night finally ends, I won't be who I was then, but every road, every scar helped me become who I am.
There were nights I thought I'd never heal, days I couldn't find the strength, moments when the world felt silent and hope seemed far away.
Yet here we are still breathing, still standing after every storm. Proof that even broken hearts can learn to love once more. The night was never our enemy,
It was part of the journey.
when the night finally ends and the first light reaches in, I look back at where I've been and thank the darkness for the lessons. When the night finally ends, I won't be who I was then, but every road, every scar helped me become who I am.
Who I am.
Maybe
Healing isn't forgetting,
maybe
healing is remembering
without the pain
without the fear.
and finally finding peace.
When the night finally ends and tomorrow finally begins, I'll carry every memory without letting it define me.
When the night finally ends and the sunrise fills the sky, I'll know that every loss and every love helped me learn how to survive.